Hi everyone, this is Ravi. Welcome to Katalon Automation tutorial. As you all know, I've already published 33 YouTube videos covering basic level, intermediate level and advanced level concepts. As part of advanced level concepts, I've already started publishing YouTube videos on CICD integration by using Katalon Studio. As part of CICD integration, I've already published 3 YouTube videos covering the concepts of executing Katalon test automation scripts by using command line prompt, and then how can you integrate your Katalon Studio with GitHub so that you can export your entire test automation suite to the GitHub. And also I have covered how can you integrate Katalon Studio with TestOps. And this is our lesson 34 where I'm going to talk about part 4 of our CI/CD integration. This is our lesson 34, which is part 4 of our CI/CD integration. So in this lesson, I'm going to teach you how can we schedule test runs on TestOps with TestCloud environment, and then how can you schedule your test runs on Katalon Studio with TestCloud environment. So lesson objective, as you all know, I've already published part 1, 2 and 3 of CI/CD integration concepts. I would recommend you guys to visit my previous videos. And this is our part 4 where I'm going to teach you schedule test runs on TestOps with TestCloud environment. So first of all, what is TestCloud environment? TestCloud environment is provided by Katalon, and this environment has a lot of operating systems, desktop browsers, mobile devices that you can access to run your test scripts. So you can access TestCloud from both Katalon Studio and TestOps. And these are the operating systems that it supports: Windows, Linux and Mac OS. And then following are the supported browsers: Firefox, Chrome, Edge Chromium, Internet Explorer and Safari. And these are the latest Windows browsers versions, and these are Linux versions, and these are latest Mac OS versions that it supports. And then what are the supported mobile devices? TestCloud supports all the listed mobile devices here. Left side has iOS devices, right side has Android devices. If you see iOS devices, it has iPad, iPhone 13, iPhone 10, iPhone 12, iPhone 11, right? All these services. And also it has iPad mini, iPad Air. And if you see on the right side, Android devices: Google Pixel, Samsung Galaxy Tab, Samsung Galaxy Z Flip, Z Fold, Google Pixel, right? All these devices you can access by using TestCloud environment. And here, how can you run tests by using TestOps in TestCloud environments? Now let us see. So Katalon TestCloud is available for seamless integration with Katalon TestOps, and current test environments require time and effort to set up and maintain while providing limited browser and operating systems. For example, in your organization, you want to execute your test automation test scripts on different browsers, different operating systems and different devices. Then you need to maintain and manage all these browser versions, operating systems and all the different types of devices. So instead of that, by contrast, with a few clicks, you can set up a TestCloud test environment in TestOps for your test execution across browsers, across operating systems, across different devices. And then TestCloud environment also allows you to execute tests on public domain. You can execute tests on private domain via TestCloud tunnel. So here you have a security as well. and then you can track your TestCloud testing quota. So now let us see how can you schedule tests on TestCloud with TestOps. So let us see the step-by-step procedure. First, you will be signing into Katalon TestOps. If you remember, I already showed you the Katalon TestOps where we integrated our GitHub repository, where we integrated our Katalon Studio as well. And then you need to go to Test Execution tab and you need to click on Schedule Test Run. And you need to give your test run a name. Then select script repository that stores your project. If you remember, we already integrated script repository or GitHub repository to TestOps. So you need to select that repository. And then you need to choose a TestSuite and TestSuite Collection to execute. And in environment section, if you see in the left side, this is your environment section. Here you need to click the drop down menu and select more options. So as soon as you select more options, you will have a configuration test environment pop-up. Here you can select preferred test environment. If you want to select Windows, you can select Mac, Linux. Within that you can select any browser that you want, Chrome, Edge, Firefox, any browser, and then you can select versions of your browser. And then click on schedule to save your test run configuration. So now let us see how can we perform all these actions in TestOps practically. So this is my testops.katalon.io. I have already logged into Katalon TestOps by using my username and password. Okay, so if you remember correctly, in my previous session, right, in part 3, we have created a test case and then we have created a test suite as well, right, which is called TestOps integration, and we checked in this entire code base to the Git repository. Where is my Git repository? Here is my Git repository. So this is the Git repository that we exported to GitHub, and this GitHub repository we integrated to the TestOps under project called first project. Let me click on this first project, and if you go to settings and then script repositories, now you can see Katalon CICD tutorial. This is the repository that we integrated. See, Katalon CICD tutorial, right? We have taken this code, right, copied this GitHub URL, and then we integrated that repository to my TestOps, Katalon TestOps. Okay, so now the local code from my Katalon Studio we exported to GitHub. From GitHub we integrated the code base to my TestOps. So that is what we did in our previous session. Now let us see. First you need to log into Katalon TestOps, that we did, and go to your project. So this is my project. As you all know, this is my project, right? First project is my project, and then go to test execution. So you need to go to executions. Once you go to executions, now you need to click on schedule test run. So I need to schedule a test run on TestOps in TestCloud environment. Okay, let me show you. Now as soon as I click on schedule test run, here it will give you an option to name your test run. I'm going to name the test run as CICD pipeline part 4. Okay, so this is my test run name and the repository. So now just now I showed you the repository is Katalon CICD tutorial, right? So this is coming from GitHub. This is coming from GitHub. All these repositories I already integrated from GitHub, right? So this is the CICD tutorial is our repository, that we would like to execute. And if you see in this repository, we have a test suite called TestOps integration, right? Let me show you the same thing here also. If I go to test suites in GitHub, I can see TestOps integration.ts. So that is what the test suite I need to select here. I selected the repository and test suite. Where is the test suite? Yeah, test suite slash TestOps integration. Test suites slash TestOps integration. Okay, that's what it is showing me here. Now you need to select the choose test suite that we completed, and now in environment section you will have a more options so that you can direct to your TestCloud selection. Okay, so if I go to environment here, if you see, these are all already TestCloud selections only. Let's go to more options. This will take you to the TestCloud. If you see here, what is your source of your environment? I would like to run these test cases or this test suite by using TestCloud environment or local environment or Kubernetes or Circle CI. So I would like to use TestCloud. Okay, that's why I selected TestCloud. And once you select the TestCloud, now you can see TestCloud has all these operating systems and all these mobile browsers, right? And these web services. So now I would like to run this on desktop browser. Where do you want to select Windows, Mac OS or Linux? So let's say I would like to select Windows and I would like to select Chrome browser. And what is the version that you would like to execute on? I would like to select 114 version, Chrome 114. See, as soon as I selected Chrome 114, this entire selection has been populated here. Now save this. So as soon as you save, now you can see your environment is TestCloud, Windows operating system, Chrome browser, 114 version. See here, TestCloud section, select your preferred environment and run your test. So here, once this is done, either you can directly run the test or you can save the configuration. So now here, just I would like to show you by running the schedule. Okay, by running this pipeline, CICD pipeline part 4. So let's run this. So now what happens, this particular newly created view pipeline, CICD pipeline. So this is what we created just now. We just now schedule a run. So now I clicked on that particular run. So this is what the run that is scheduled, right? So let's click on this to get more details. Now you can see test run is running and will pass report once it has finished execution. So this is where you can see, you should see pass rate here, or you can go to reports. Let's go to reports. Now you can see test runs. Under reports, go to test runs. Now if you scroll down, see, this is our latest test run, CICD pipeline part 4. So if you click on this ID, you can see the progress here, right? So it is still running. The pipeline is still running. Let's go back to again executions. So let me show you here, this pipeline is still running, right? So once the execution is completed, it's gonna publish all the reports. See here, total test run 1. That means I have one more test, because if you go to Katalon here, for TestOps integration, test suite, you have 2 test cases to execute, right? So first test case is already passed. Now your second test case is running. So let's go to again reports now. Meanwhile, and here go to test runs. And if you see here, now you can see there are 2 test cases that are already passed. So let's go here. It is actually publishing the results now. Let's go here and see the results now. So if you see here, total test cases executed 2, and this is your test suite. Now your results got published, I think. If you scroll up, test results 2, passed 2. If you see test results, go to test results under test runs. So now you can see first test case is passed, second test case also passed. And if you want to raise any defect, you can simply click on report defect, report defect. Okay. So now let's again go to execution here. So we completed, if you see here, my test execution is completed, right? One more thing let me tell you. So we just ran the we just ran schedule whatever we planned, right? Execution schedule that we just ran. But instead of running, if you want to schedule something, what we can do? Let's go to schedules now again. And here select this now. This is the new pipeline that we created, correct? So now if I want to schedule instead of running this, either you can directly rerun this again, or click on edit, and here instead of clicking on run, we can do one thing. We can simply repeat this. I can schedule this run every 1 week. When I would like to run, start is this, let me show you here, okay, and end of 30th April. So I'm specifying that I would like to run this particular test once in a week, okay, starting from 9th of April, end of 30th April. So it repeats every week, and then you can simply click on schedule. As soon as you click on schedule, the schedule run will be ready for your test run for every week. Okay, this is how you can schedule your test runs. So this is how you can run your tests from TestOps by using TestCloud environment. And let me also show you one more thing here. Okay, let me show you one more thing. Let me edit this, and here this time what I selected only Chrome, but instead of Chrome you can select multiple options also. Let's go to more options, and here let's say I would like to run on Edge browser, for example, on Edge here. So now you can see there are 2 selections I have. Save this. Now I can see this particular test run will be running on Chrome as well as Edge. So if I run this, it's going to run on both the browsers. Simple. So you can run on multiple browsers at a time by using TestCloud. So now let us see how can you run your automation scripts in TestCloud by using Katalon Studio. Now instead of using TestOps, we are going to use Katalon Studio to run tests on TestCloud environment. So as I told you, Katalon TestCloud is a test environment service that allows you to execute tests on common browsers, operating systems on the cloud. With Katalon TestCloud, you can easily configure those environments. So this guide shows you how to configure TestCloud in Katalon Studio and execute tests and view the reports. So let us see step-by-step procedure. First, we are going to open TestSuite in Katalon Studio, and then click on drop-down icon of Run button and choose to run with TestCloud. Instead of selecting your browser directly in Katalon Studio, so this time we are going to select TestCloud. So the TestCloud configuration dialog appears as shown here. Now here, if you want to run your scripts on desktop browser, you can select desktop browser. If you want to run on mobile browser, you can select on mobile browser. And then you select operating system that you would like to use, Windows, Linux and Mac. And then you will be selecting your browser, Chrome, Firefox, whatever the browser you want. And then what is the browser version that you would like to run. And then you need to select your execution environment for your test. So we already selected execution environments, and then you need to click on run. So this runs all your Katalon Studio test scripts from your Katalon Studio onto your TestCloud environment. Now let us jump onto the Katalon Studio and see how can we perform all these operations. Yeah, so this is my Katalon Studio. So now we are going to run our tests from Katalon Studio. So basically, earlier we have run our tests by using TestOps in TestCloud, but now we are running from Katalon Studio in TestCloud environment. So for that, what is our first step? Our first step is open a test suite. So first of all, if you remember correctly, we already created this test suite, right, earlier, so which is TestOps integration. So open this TestOps integration test suite and then click on drop down icon of run button and choose to run with TestCloud. Simple. So till now we have selected here. When you click on drop down, earlier we used to select Chrome, Firefox, some browser to run on local. But now I want to run on TestCloud. So you need to select TestCloud. As soon as you select run on TestCloud, your execution will be started on TestCloud environment. So before execution starts, you need to configure your TestCloud. So what is the TestCloud configuration that you want? I would like to run on Windows, Mac or Linux. Let me run on Windows. And then what is the browser that you would like to use? I would like to run on Chrome browser. And what is the version? I would like to run on 115 version. And then you can simply hit run. So this will run your test cases not on local. This runs test cases on TestCloud. So you can again go back to our TestCloud and see your tests here. Okay. Go to executions, right? And here, whatever I triggered, now I should see here. See, I can see I triggered from Katalon Studio, right? So that it is showing here. Test run 196. So here, if you can see, it started opening the browser, right? And then it start execution of your test case 1. You can see there are two test cases. Test case 1 will be executed, test case 2 will be executed. Now your test case 1 completed, it started your test case 2. So now you can see all the test cases, both the test cases are completed successfully and you can see all are passed. So if you want to go to results, right, either directly you can go here to your TestOps, you just refresh your page and here you can see the latest run that we kickstarted from your Katalon Studio. You can see here, click on this and now you can see there are 2 tests that are passed. If you go to reports also, here go to test runs. Now you should see test run that we kickstarted from. So this is our test run that we kickstarted because your test suite name is TestOps integration. That's why it is showing as TestOps integration as test name. Earlier CICD pipeline part 4 that we triggered from TestOps itself, right? So this is our new one. If you click on here, now you can see all tests are passed, right? And if you scroll down, you can see here, this is your test suite that we executed. And this is the latest instance that we executed, right? So this is how you can execute your test suite from your Katalon on TestCloud environment. Now let us see how can you execute the test suite collections with TestCloud. So for this, we need to first create our test collection. Let's go back here, go to create new test suite collection. I'm going to say TestOps integration collection. Click OK. Now I would like to add a test suite to this collection. Add test suite, TestOps integration is the test suite. Click OK. Now here, to run your test suite, save this one. Here you can see you need to run with TestCloud, right? So for that, choose environment as TestCloud under run column. So this is your run with column. So here, double click on this. You need to choose TestCloud here. And then you need to double click on run configuration column to configure your TestCloud. Double click on run configure, and here you need to configure your TestCloud. So again, I would like to run on Windows. This time I would like to run on Edge Chromium, and the version is 115, and click OK. And now your TestSuite Collection is ready to run on TestCloud. Simply save these changes and then click on execute. This will again trigger another run on TestCloud. So now if you go to your TestOps again, simply go to executions, okay? And here, if I refresh, see now you can see 197, which is the latest run that we triggered from Katalon by using TestSuite collections. So once the execution is completed, you can see the execution results or the execution status on your local desktop under Katalon Studio as well, along with your TestOps. So once the execution is completed, then test results will be pushed to TestOps. So now you can see both the test cases are successfully run and all test cases are passed. So now you can see the results again from your TestOps. Just refresh this TestOps, and now your results would have been already updated in TestOps. See here, all test cases are passed, right? Total test passed 2, and if you go to reports, and you should see the latest one here under test runs, and here you can see another one. See here, TestOps integration collection. So this is the name of your collection, right? So now if you click on this, now you should see all tests are passed, right? And then you can also see test results as well here. See test case 1, test case 2. If you want to raise bug, you can raise a bug from here. Okay. Hope you all understand the concepts of how can you run your Katalon automation scripts on TestOps with TestCloud environment, and then how can you run your Katalon automation scripts by using Katalon Studio with TestCloud environment. If you have any queries, leave your queries in the comment box. I'll try to respond to your queries. Please do subscribe to the channel, click on bell icon. You'll receive notifications whenever I publish more videos. Thank you.